mind the gap. Don't complain. Don't murmur. Don't talk negative. That's average people talk normal. Average people talk problems. The greats talk solutions. Average people use their time to whine and complain. Average people say it's their boss' fault. It's their mother's fault. It's their average people. I used to be average. I used to say, when is my daddy coming to get me? When is my biological father gonna come in my life? And while I would talk like that, I ended up getting kicked out of school. And while I talk like that, I ended up being homeless. And while I talk like that, I was broke. And then one day I woke up and said, Eric, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to get you. And I went from an average way of talking and behaving to taking ownership and saying, yo, E, it's your fault. Somebody said, how's it your fault? Your daddy's not in your life. I said, listen to me. I tried the blame game. It didn't work. I'm nowhere where I want to be. So I'm just going to take ownership. Why? At the end of the day, is my life is not his. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. But apparently, I ain't that important that he came looking for me. So stop crying about it and do something about it. Go get your GED and go to college. When you leave this room, you will take full ownership. And the reason why I say it's my fault, even when it's not my fault, because when I say it's your fault, I give you power. I give you control over my life. And I will never give another human control over my life. It's my fault. It's my problem. I'm coming up with a solution for it. You keep saying you ain't on the next level because of the economy. You keep saying you ain't on the next level because of racism. You keep saying you ain't on the next level because it ain't the season. You keep saying you ain't on the next level because they don't love you. You keep saying you ain't on the next level because the opportunity ain't there. The truth of the matter is that you ain't there because you ain't there. I could have fixed this years ago, but I didn't know it was a problem. But that's why it's important to do professional development. I spent money to get this after I got my PhD. Because I wanted to get better because it wasn't working. And although we might not have argued, it might have been like once every 3 months. But let me tell you something. When you don't argue for 3 months, that day you do argue, it negates everything. It tears everything up. And I was tripping because I was like, it ain't fair for you to tell me not to be emotional just because you ain't emotional. But it was like, Eric, it doesn't matter. Do you want this marriage to work or not? And there's some of you, you know what you want. You know what you want. But you are not personally willing to do the work it takes to get it. What you're trying to do is do what you've done on this level and get the next level. You're trying to do exactly what you're doing on this level. You're like, I'm getting up every day. I'm putting in 2.5. I'm putting in 3, and I'm not getting the opportunity. The opportunity might require 3.5. It might require getting up and working out 3.5. It might require you saying no to your friends. It might require you moving to another city. Whatever it takes, you got to be willing to do it. And you keep saying you're not there because of something else, because it's easier to blame somebody else. Because now you don't got to do no work when you blame somebody else. Guess who got to do the work? They got to do the work. But guess who got the power?
Confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. So every morning starts with a run. And that's because that's the one thing I hate to do more than anything in the world. So that's like my cup of coffee. And I'm all about armoring yourself. So the second you leave your house, and the second you open your phone, the second you do any of that shit, you are now letting in poison and cancer. So I make sure a lot of things you can't avoid. So as I get up, I start to armor plate my mind and body. Like a person's going to war, you put your body armor on. That's what I'm doing on that run. I'm waking up and I'm giving myself all this armor. So when I come out in the world, now look at that phone, I'm ready. I'm not waking up late. I'm not rushing around. I'm not disorganized. You have to wake up and you have to give yourself belief. You have to give yourself confidence. So it starts with that run. Let's say you have no classes, no nothing. There's no purpose in your life. You know, people need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no, I'm going to get into school to be this or that and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's going to come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not going to be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, it's just what we do. It's what we do now. Because to get to where you want to go, the amount of pain involved, I'm not saying physical, I'm not saying you got to break yourself off. The amount of mental pain of how many times you're going to have to do something that you don't want to do to get to where you want to go is going to be, there's going to be more times you do something that you don't want to do than you are going to want to do it. And that's your new norm. That's your new norm. So then it's like breathing. And then once you do this over and over and over again, it becomes like breathing. I don't want to live this lifestyle, but to get to the other side of this, I have to. So if you really want it, you realize what trying is and what trying is not.
What do you do about the negative guy that's trying to bring you down? You can confront them. By doing that, join in their little game. And in doing that, you give them the satisfaction. They now know that they got into your head. And then you're turning your workplace into, your basic grade school gossip hall. We don't like that. But now there are times, unfortunately, that you have to address things. And when you do it professionally. And you do it, your goal is to disarm them. Because remember that this negative person inside, they probably want the confrontation. That's what they want. But the preferred methodology for this situation for me is quite simple. And that is ignore and outperform them. You see, while you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. And you will lose and I will win.
I hate to tell you this, but at some point you're gonna die. No, I hate to tell you that. I'm just being real. You're gonna die. No, you're gonna die. So if you know you're gonna die, why are you playing it safe? I don't care who you are. You're not gonna make it to 200 years. I don't care if you're eating Brussels sprouts. They just don't get to 200 no more. So if you only got a 10 left, 20 left, 30 left, why not make it the best 20 you've ever had before? The best 30, the best 50 you've ever had before?